All right, our last example, example 3. Now we're looking at the cost of a pair of sunglasses is $15. This is 40% of the selling price. Okay, so again, we've got to take this and translate it into math. So we have a 40%, so I'm going to set that up. 40%. It's 40% of what? Well, it's of the selling price, and that's what we're going to look for. The selling price, if it's 40% of something, that's always going to go on the bottom. Okay. If it was 40% of $60, for example, the $60 would go on the bottom. We don't know what it's 40% of. We know that 40% of it is $15. So we're going to put that 15 on top. Okay. I hope that makes sense. The 15 here is the part, because $15 is 40%. These two things are equal, so they both have to be on top. The 100%, the whole price, is the selling price, so it's going to go on bottom. So we're going to multiply, so 40 times x is equal to 15 times 100. I'm multiplying by 40, so I have to divide by 40 to get x by itself. 15 times 100 will be 1500 divided by 40 is 3750. Okay, so that is the selling price. That's exactly what we're looking for, so the selling price is $37.50. Again, always two ways you can, I say always, 99% of the time there's at least two ways you can do things. It probably is always, but anyway, we could say 40% of the selling price, which is x, is equal to $15. Now we're going to have to do the same things we did here before. This is 40 times x, divide by 100, so we're dividing by 100, so 40 times x. We're going to multiply both sides by 100, so 15 times 100, and then you can see we're exactly where we were before. Okay, so we multiply that by 100, we multiply that by 100, and we're exactly where we were. Okay, now what does the customer pay for the backpack in Winnipeg? Well, I can tell you those off the top of my head. That's 5% for the GST and 8% for the PST, so it's 13%. You can calculate them separately. There's nothing wrong with that. This is just simpler, it's faster, and if you're ever off, you'll be off by 1 penny. So it's really not a big deal. So we don't use pennies anyway. So we need to figure out the taxes. So we've got 13% is the same as something, I'm going to call it y to be different, something over the sale or the selling price, which is $37.50. Cross multiply, 100y is equal to 13 times $37.50. We're multiplying by 100, so we have to divide by 100. 13 times $37.50 divided by 100 is 487.5, so 2 decimal places, 488, because the 5 makes us round up. Okay, so those are our taxes, but we want to know what the customer is going to pay. They're not just going to pay taxes, as nice as that would be. So $37.50 plus the $4.88 for taxes. Be $41.42.38. Please do it yourself to make sure that I'm right. So the customer pays $42.38 in Winnipeg. And one more time, you could do 13%. I think maybe my Surface Pro is starting to hate me. 13% of $37.50. When you calculate that, you're going to get 488, and then you're going to add that on. All right, you got the practice problems there in the textbook that can be done.